Guess what this is?
Thursday.
It is
Friday.
It's Friday. It's Friday, and this is the New Year's Eve signature glass of wine. But today,
It's a signature glass of sherry.
this is the sherry that I used to bake my famous family sherry cake. Smells
It's,
nice.
Actually, an Amontillado, which is a medium, tending a little to the dry side.
Dry side. It's very
Yeah.
tasty.
Yeah.
So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to all of you out there in the world. We hope everything in your life is going well. We're happy. We're content.
Frozen, but we're
Oh my
happy.
gosh, we're cold. Cold.
We're thinking about breaking up the furniture and starting a fire. But
Actually, we have some friends, Bob and Diane, and we were visiting, doing a Zoom visit, and we were talking about how cold it was. And they had lived in Florida for a while, and they had a freak ice storm, snowstorm.
Cold
This
snap,
is a number
yep.
of years back, cold snap. Everything was, all the power was off, the roads were closed, it was utter chaos, chaos, mayhem. They were in their home for 3 days, 4 days. They ended up busting up furniture and burning it in their fireplace. That's cold. That's serious.
we don't have a wood-burning fireplace, so
no.
we'll just have to burn it in the middle of the living room.
So anyway, so we're cold, but we're good other than
Yeah.
that. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
We ventured out this morning, and
At Old Dark 100.
yeah, shortly after I got up at 3:30.
I know it. We got to do something about the sleeping pattern.
Anyway, so we ventured out, and it snowed again. This is
Yeah.
like the fifth
Yeah, I think so.
day we've had snow. So
Yeah, the whole Northwest is really, Pacific Northwest has been hit really hard. I was going to mention I don't have a list. I don't
that's
have
good.
a list.
We'll have a lot of dead air. Then.
Well, that's okay because it's New Year's Eve. Now I made that beautiful sherry cake and everyone seemed to like that video, and I made my super fantastic everything but the kitchen sink soup, kind of a minestrone, kind of a riff on a minestrone soup, and that was good.
But the most exciting thing in my life is that today is day 5 of her sourdough starter, and that means tomorrow she bakes.
I do. Tomorrow I bake. It's in fact, I have if you look, in fact, I'll leave a link up there if you're interested. There's a sourdough series that I put out a number of years ago. And it's the steps up leading up to the sourdough bread. And that's what I started today, or 5 days ago. So tomorrow I bake so that'll be nice to have some fresh bread.
Oh, yeah. I grew up on San Francisco sourdough. We'd drive over to the bakeries on Sunday morning and get the loaves while
Thought
they were
maybe
still
it might
hot.
be kind of fun, since I don't have a list, is to talk a little bit about our past New Year's Eves. Now we were figuring it out. This is our 46th New Year's Eve
Sixth
together.
New Year's Eve together,
Yeah.
yes.
And, we were trying to figure out the different places we had lived during these different New Year's Eves, because we
So
moved
many
a lot.
places,
Yeah, we
yes.
did. And so it was kind of fun going through all that. And, we always have long coffee in the morning. And that was one of the things we had talked about. And I think by far, and what are the great New Year's Eves you remember, or were there some that were just such clunkers? I know one that I went to bed on. When we first moved up in this area, it was our very first home away, at least for me, home away from my parents' home, in my town I'd grown up in. And I knew how to make a dinner and all that stuff. Well, I was so depressed, lonely, all those things that you go
How
through.
depressed were you?
And it was exceptionally cold that one winter. So on Thanksgiving, this is when it started. I was doing a turkey. I was roasting a turkey. Took it out of the oven. He was going to carve it. It was on a carving board. And that turkey is... I'm going to move that because I'll spill it. That whole turkey, which he maybe... Do you remember? No. He doesn't remember anything. What'd you have for breakfast? That whole turkey slid right off that cutting board into the sink of soapy water.
Yes.
The sink was right there. It didn't have to go real far. And I was like, oh my gosh, so that was a bummer. Christmas was a bummer. And I think I went to bed, and I spent New Year's Eve in bed.
We have a knack for choosing the coldest places to live, too. We've spent a couple of Christmases and New Year's in bed, just trying to stay warm.
Yeah.
couldn't.
There was one place we lived. It was an A-frame, beautiful,
Oh, yeah.
and it was
Gorgeous.
Oh,
And it was kind of, it was in a city, but yet it was kind of a secluded spot on a wooded lot.
Yeah.
And it was just a gorgeous place. And
it was a sieve.
it didn't have any insulation.
No.
And you had this front massive wall of windows, one
Yeah.
of which was broken. And we froze to death. in that
It's true.
place.
The heaters were so bad, and their landlady kept saying, "Put it in the fire, burn the fire." Fire didn't work, and it's true. We would come home from work, have something to eat, and we'd immediately get in bed and read because it was so cold.
I have memories of Christmases from when I was young and when I was a kid, and obviously when we were married. But I don't have a lot of memories of New Year's Eves.
Yeah.
I remember one where I drove some friends who had a band down to San Jose.
I don't think I know that.
Well, this was before we ever met.
I know, but I don't think you've ever told me this story.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, I worked with this one guy, and he was the bass player in a small combo, and they were playing New Year's Eve at the Safari Room in San Jose. So I drove them down to San Jose with all their instruments because I had a station wagon at the time, and they were coming on right after the Righteous Brothers. So
Wow.
I got to actually sit down and have a drink with the Righteous Brothers. I remember that, and then there was the best New Year's Eve I've ever had, which
Yeah,
was
the best.
our one in
Yeah.
yeah.
We had made reservations for, this was another small town we lived in, and it was a nice town. And we were, how many miles would you say from that restaurant, from home? Not many.
No.
5, 6?
Oh no.
Oh,
From where we were?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
That much.
Yeah.
So we made reservations for this restaurant, and that was all we were going to do was have dinner and then go home. So we show up at the restaurant, and oh my gosh, it was a nice small French restaurant. And they had all the tables decorated for New Year's Eve. They had the little hats, and they had the horns, and but it was classy. It wasn't junky stuff. Well, let me tell you, we had cocktails.
After cocktails and wine, and did we have champagne?
Yeah, we did.
We had champagne, and then we had after dinner drinks.
So by the time we got out of this, which was probably around 10 o'clock, I think.
There was no way we were driving anywhere.
So we walked around the block, and it was cold that night. It was
Very.
New Year's Eve. So we walked around the block a couple times to kind of sober up. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm telling this story. For some reason, I don't even know why we went over to. I don't think did we think we were going to have another drink?
Yeah, I think so.
So we knew this other place, and we said, "Oh, let's go over here."
It was right on the lake.
Yeah.
Right on the lake.
So we go in there and we find out this is a New Year's Eve party, and
Yeah.
it's free to get in.
And they have this big band there and a singer, and they're playing all the old music, and they're taking requests. And so we drank and we danced.
Oh God, did we have fun? That was like
yeah.
a perfect. It was.
It was.
Totally unscripted. We went for dinner, but that was amazing how well it turned out. But I'll tell you what, on that drive home, we took
We took the back roads. Yeah.
praying.
We were like the only car on the road then.
Well, I think we closed the
Yeah.
bar down.
Yeah.
2 o'clock, whatever, 1:30.
Well, we've never done that before.
When we met, the night we met, I had been working at it was a resort restaurant, and I was a waitress. And it was a horrible place I worked. It was just horrible.
And yet people would come from hundreds of miles
Yes.
away to stay there
It was
during
an
the summer.
awful
It was kind
place.
of a resort.
Yeah, it was.
And they had cabins and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So it took me about 40 minutes to get to this place by car, and it was up a mountain road actually, because it was in the mountains. This place was. So I had a horrible day at work, and I had come down the mountain, and there was a restaurant in town that I would go to, and they had a cocktail lounge alongside, very safe, very
Live music.
yeah. And so I would go in there occasionally after work and have a glass of wine and kind of unwind and go home. So that was one of these evenings. Had a horrible day. So I'm sitting at the bar, and he walks in, and it was 9-ish, I guess. And he tries the pickup line, "Hi, how are you? Can I buy you a drink?" "No, you can't buy me a drink." So my drink, my glass was empty. "Let me buy you.
That's her side of the story.
Let me buy you." "No, I don't want a drink." Well, anyway, I finally caved in. and he and I started talking. We closed that place down. We weren't drunk. It was an entire night. All we did was talk. Talk. And then he says, can I have your phone number? Why don't we get together? And I got, yeah, sure, whatever. That's what I knew was coming. I said, here's my phone number. I'll never hear from you, so why don't you just throw the phone number away right now?
And I called her the next day.
He called. So anyway, that was the night where we closed the bar down. But that was the best New Year's Eve we had, was that one for dinner, and then out for drinking, dancing.
Drinking,
Freudian
and
slip there.
dancing, and drinking. And
Well, I think, my brother Tony and I, they have tried, and we have tried over the years to find a venue which has a really good big band where you get all dressed up and you go and have dinner and dancing, really nice. And they don't do it anymore. You have these DJs, they have 4 or 5 dance stages. I mean, even in hotels. It's very difficult, almost I would say impossible, to find that kind of a venue.
you can find it, but I think you have to go to a huge city to find it.
Well, we trying Seattle. They didn't have it. That's a pretty big city.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, anyway, that's the kind of thing we'd like to have done, but
this is going to be a quiet New Year's Eve. We're going to fix a nice dinner at home and
pop a bottle or two.
a bottle of champagne and just
it's going to be
snuggle
nice.
up in front of the fire, break up a few pieces of furniture.
Any New Year's resolutions for you? Although I never caught into those, but any New Year's resolutions?
I want to take off a pound or 2 or 50.
Well, that's a really excellent aspiration.
Yeah.
I'll help you.
I want to be less judgmental.
Now that's big.
Less uptight.
I think you've done really well. I think you have mellowed out. Yes, you do stay uptight, but I still think you've also. He has. Yeah. I mean, when we first met, this man, boy and howdy, but you have mellowed a lot over the years.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Yep.
Thank God he's mellowed. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Those are good.
I'd just like to be a better person.
Well, I would like that for you. If you're a good person. I think you're a good person. But if you feel like you need to make
I've got her snowed.
I think he does. No, you're a great person. I think for me, I always talk about resolutions and how, I say, well, I'm going to, drop 100 pounds or read a book every week or.
But you did drop 100 pounds.
I did. That's true. So I got that one off my bucket list. No, I always say these things. I'm going to do cooking a certain way, or like I said, read a book every week, and all those things. And it kind of slips by the wayside. So what I try to do now is just try to every day wake up and say, okay, what can I do today that's better than what I did yesterday? Who is that that's talking?
I don't know.
Who are you?
What'd you do with my
We think the world of you. We are so happy that you are in our lives because you know what? This is one wacky ride that we're on.
You make her day when she gets a
nice
text
comment
or an
email.
Comment or an email or something from somebody who got something out of one of her videos or tried one of her recipes. Or
I think, we have... I'm trying to grow the channel. I'd like to grow the channel. And it's like there's a challenge or a resolution for me for 2022. I want to grow my channel and make it better. And we have a very different niche that we kind of cater. We cater to people who like to, I cater to people who like to cook. But he and I, as a couple, cater to people in our age bracket.
Or people who say, gee, I wish you were our grandparents.
Oh, boy, do we get that. We do. So, we realize that, and so when we connect with you, it just makes my day, and it makes his, that we are somehow connecting with you and talking your language, or you understand us, and we certainly understand you. When you write us, it's like, oh yeah, I get it. So we're just really happy that we have this opportunity to be on YouTube and to fill a little hole.
Yeah.
And we are.
Even if it's only one person that's watching.
That's exactly right. We've talked about that too. Whether I had 5 million viewers or one, same thing.
If you make a difference in one person's life,
it's the truth.
Then that's worthwhile.
Mm-hmm. So, we wish you a very, very blessed and happy 2022. We hope you get out there and be able to do all that you can do. be all that you can be. And in this environment, it's asking a lot. But you know what? We're all strong, aren't we?
Be safe, cherish every day.
Yep.
And remember, love is what it's all about.
Well,
I love you.
I love you too. All right, everybody. Happy New Year. We will
Happy
talk
New
to you
Year.
real soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.